Scammers. Scammers are everywhere these days, yes, even in the Doberman world. Honestly, guys, it makes my blood boil when I think about just really good, hardworking people who just want to bring a loving new family member into their home, getting scammed out of their hard-earned money from some of these crafty scammers. And these are intelligent people getting tricked into this as well. And these breeder scams, you know, they'll take your money with no intention of ever delivering a Doberman puppy to you. So please watch this video all the way to the end, because they're getting more and more crafty with their scams. And I'm gonna give you the tips that you need to spot these scams coming from a mile away. Okay, so I saw someone recently, and for the sake of this video, let's just call her Sarah, who posted a question in a Doberman forum asking the group what she did so wrong while dealing with this breeder that she's trying to work with to upset them so badly. And Sarah posted screenshots of her text message conversation with this breeder, and that conversation went a little bit something like this. How much for your puppies? $700. Great, are their ears cropped? $50 in 2 days and I can have ears done. Great, I really like the black one. I can come to pick them up. When will they be ready to see? In 1 week, but I can just ship to you. I can hold black one with deposit. I'd like to see them in person. How long have you been breeding? 10. I guess he meant 10 years. I'm not sure. Do you have any references? You know what? If you don't trust me, fine. But I'm not going to sit here and defend myself to you. Either you want the dog or not. I just want to speak to a couple references before sending you a large amount of money on the internet. And then the breeder doesn't respond at all. Oh man, this makes me so angry. Do you see any red flags in this conversation with this breeder that Sarah is working with? I know I do. So let's run through some of the red flags that this breeder had, and also other things to watch out for to make sure you're not scammed when you're looking for your next Doberman puppy. Before we get too much further into this video, guys, I feel I should specify that this video is to help you steer clear of scammers. This isn't about spotting a backyard breeder or less than reputable breeder, and there is a definite divisible line between the two of them. A backyard breeder or less than reputable breeder does have a puppy to sell you, although they're generally just concerned with producing a puppy as cheaply as possible and getting as much money out of you as possible, with no concern of the ethics of breeding the dog and the betterment of the Doberman breed as a whole. Whereas a scammer, they have no dog to send you and they're just trying to get your money and then disappear into the wind. So this video is how to spot scammers. If you do want help on how to differentiate between less reputable breeders and reputable breeders, go to my channel, take a look at the menu bar at the top of my channel and click on that little search icon in the corner. Type in the word breeders there, and the first few videos that come up will help you not only find breeders of Doberman puppies, but differentiate between backyard breeders or maybe less than reputable ones and reputable breeders. Okay, so now for the best methods to tell if the breeder that you're working with is actually just a scam artist trying to get you out of your money. The first tip I have for you is that they will push hard for shipping. They love shipping dogs. Now, reputable breeders do ship dogs as well, but scam artists pretty much exclusively will ship the dog. They will never agree to meet you in person or show the dog to you in person, mostly because they don't have a dog to show you. And if they do agree to it, there will be a last-minute issue, or they just simply won't show up. Now, the second one is that they will often use pictures of someone else's puppies. Have you guys ever seen that television show? It's a Catfish on MTV. On Catfish, someone online uses someone else's photos and poses as them to trick people. Well, the same thing happens with Doberman scammers. If you suspect that maybe some of the images you're getting might not be of this person's dogs, or they might be a scammer, go and do a reverse image search. Go to images.google.com. Take the image of the dog that they sent you, drag and drop them over into the search bar, and Google will show you where else on the web that image shows up. If you see that image, exact same image, over on other websites and associated with other places or people and not associated with your breeder or their facility, then there's a good chance that you're dealing with a scammer. Now, a third way to tell that you might be dealing with a scammer is that you found them through social media. Scammers love social media. It's quick, it's easy. They just post an ad saying they got puppies for sale, and they just get tons of leads on people to scam. Or maybe you posted a question asking for referrals for anyone that has Dobermans for sale and they responded. Either way, it's definitely a potential red flag if you met them through social media. Now, this is not going to be a breeder that you found through, say, the DPCA breeder referral program or the AKC breeder directory. This is someone that's simply you were introduced to through social media only. Now, take a look at their profile if you suspect that there might be something going on. A lot of these scammers will be in a different country from you, because then there's a little bit of a buffer of safety for them. Or they won't have many friends. Their profile will look pretty barren, like maybe it was just hobbled together in the last week or two. If you see these things, it's definitely a potential red flag. Now, the next thing to watch out for is when their prices just don't make sense. Look, a Doberman in the US usually will cost anywhere between $1,500 to $2,500, sometimes as much as $3,000 or even maybe a little bit more depending on their lineage. But these scammers will often quote prices like $500 to $800. But more than the dog itself, they'll quote other prices that just don't make sense. Like in Sarah's case, an example I gave you in this video, he quoted $50 for an ear cropping. And there is nowhere in the United States can you get an ear cropping for that cheap. Maybe they'll also quote prices that don't make sense for shipping, like $75 to ship them to your door, which doesn't make any sense at all. If they sound like they don't know what they're talking about as far as the prices go, they probably don't, and they're probably a scammer. So Google a little bit when they give you a price. If you don't know what shipping should be, Google a little bit about how much it costs to ship a dog, and if they are way off base, that's a major red flag. Now, next thing to watch out for is these scammers will often get very defensive when you ask for references. And Sarah found this out in the example I gave you in this video. You know, a reputable breeder will already have references lined up that they've already contacted, and they already have these people in mind. So when you ask for reference, they won't hesitate to give you the references. In fact, they'll probably be very happy that you asked and that you care enough about their dogs to check references. But a scammer will either get really defensive and then just disappear on you, or they'll give you some fake references. So if you do get references, do make sure you call to make sure that you're not dealing with fake references. But this is absolutely one of the biggest red flags. Now, another way to tell if you're dealing with a scammer is that scammers will almost never agree to video chat with you for a couple reasons. One, they have to show their face. And two, if you ask to see the puppies, they're gonna have no puppies to show you, so that's not gonna work. It's actually a really reasonable request to ask to video chat with a breeder that you're trying to work with, especially if they live far away or you're thinking about sending money to them a long distance and asking them to see the puppies. So if they make some excuse as to why they can't video chat or they can't show you the puppies when you chat with them online, then there's definitely a problem. Guys, these are all red flags that should really make the hairs on your neck stand up. You know, if I could stress one thing to you, it'd just be social media. Scammers love social media so much because it's quick and it's easy. You know, they just slap up a posting and they wait see who falls into their net. You know, they usually don't take the time to make a .com about their fake breeder business or go and get on some of the legitimate breeder directories. Scammers want fast, easy cash. I mean, let's face it, if they're willing to work for it, they'd probably just go out and get a job. One quick pro tip for you guys. If you found a breeder that you're really excited about working with, why not take things one step further? Look, you usually have to get on a waiting list nowadays anyway to get a Doberman pup. And while you're waiting, ask the breeder, hey, can I come down and see the dogs even if they're really young? And swab the dog's cheek real quick and send it off for DNA testing. Because a simple, real quick swab of the dog's cheek will tell you so much about that dog. It'll tell you if it's truly a 100% pure Doberman. It'll tell you if they potentially have any serious health defects. And you know, a lot of breeders will be really open to this idea. Just make sure that you have some sort of agreement in place, especially if you put a deposit on the dog on whether or not you can back out of the transaction if you don't like the results of the test. But keep in mind, there are a lot of results that can come up that look negative when you get the results, but really aren't a big deal. But then there's other ones that are really serious, and you should know because it could cost you a lot of money and a lot of heartache down the road with this pup. So ask about doing a DNA test. It could be really worth it. If you want help on how to do that, the video should be popping up in the corner of your screen. I did one called All About DNA Health Testing on Dobermans. I'll also link to it in the description down below, but definitely check out that video because I walk you through the step-by-step, super easy process of doing this yourself. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Definitely hit that subscribe button down below. That way you can keep getting these tips to help you with your daily life with your dog and your puppy search. And leave a comment while you're here. Let me know what tips you have for spotting some of these Doberman scammers, or maybe some of your funny stories about just some of these ridiculous scammers out there who are trying to get people to fall for their games. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys next time.